1960s, mid-1960s. They still have it. It's made out of French squirrel hair.
Squirrel hair?
Yeah, yeah. They don't make brushes like this anymore because I try to have some made. And it's not cold enough in Europe for the hair to get thick and have a little snap to it. The hair is too thin and too soft. Brown hair. It doesn't have the same snap. This is the paint on windows.
Oh.
So you can't see the brush strokes.
That's interesting.
This is an old brush too. This one here is from the 60s. You had to put this part into a potato and let it moisturize itself. So this would expand, and you get a stick, and once it was expanded, you put it on the stick, and then it would dry out and hang on to the stick.
That is fascinating. Where did you learn all of this?
All my mentors from Chicago, they're all the sign painter. They told me how to do all that stuff.
And what kind of stuff do you usually paint?
Paint signs.
Just all signs?
Trucks, cars, boats.
Oh, wow.
Race cars.
That is so interesting.
I was just telling Julie, we just came out with a book with all the hand-drawn sketches from all the billboards in Chicago.
Oh,
I didn't do any of them, but that's how they taught me how to do that. I draw signs with pencils, and then we paint them. We blow them up and we paint them.
That is really
That's
interesting.
how I did those. Well, I do those by hand as patterns. But I draw horizontal lines, and I just get a piece of charcoal and I just rough in Big Dewey, and then I draw the letter. I spent my whole apprentice career learning how to draw it perfectly. So I just draw down the Big Dewey with a red pencil, rough it in, and then I take a regular pencil and just chew it all up. And once I got that all done, then I take an electric pencil and I put these holes.
Yeah.
If you can see that.
Yeah.
See the little holes?
Yeah.
Now, what does the charcoal do?
I rub charcoal over these holes, and it transfers the image onto the boat.
Okay.
Then I take a grease pencil, and I drew all the letters with the grease pencil, and then I wiped off all that charcoal, so the charcoal doesn't get into the paint, because it'll dull the paint.
Wow.
And its longevity will be suffering because of that. So.
Very interesting. And what kind of a paint do you use?
I use one-shot lettering sign enamel. Right here. The best sign paint available.
I didn't even know there was sign paint. That's really interesting.
It's very expensive now. Everything is very expensive.
True facts.
But at least they still make it, and I can still buy it. You know, some of those paints aren't around anymore; they're gone. I was just telling Julie, I did a poster for her for the Steamboat. I use all what they call rich art show card color. It was watercolor on clay-coated cardboard stock. They make the cardboard, but they don't make the watercolor anymore. It's gone. It's been gone for 30 years.
Wow.
So
Interesting.
it's just progress. Everything is printed now and cut out of vinyl and stuck on like a decal. So I am an old antique. 74 years old, I'm an antique.
I love it. So how often do you practice to get this? You have such a steady hand. I would not be able to do that. I'm a teacher. I have super neat handwriting. I would not be able to do this. How often do you practice?
Every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Wow. How long have you been doing this?
Right about 55 years now, I'd say.
That's impressive.
Started when I was probably 12, 13 years old.
And you were young, so who started teaching you when you were that young?
I had to learn some of this by myself. But then when I got into the sign union in Chicago, I had some of the best mentors, sign painters there were in the city, or anywhere, right here in Chicago. So they didn't hold anything back. They told me everything I needed to know to help me be successful in my career. I'm totally indebted to every one of those men.
I love that. So
And most of them are all gone now. There's not too many left.
And when you put the paint on the board like that, does it help like even the paint out?
called palleting. And what you want to do is you want to have only a certain amount of paint inside your brush between the hairs. And when you dip it, there's a lot of paint in there.
Yeah.
It'll make it real slippery.
And goopy.
But when I palette like this, it makes the brush drag. There's a good drag to it, and that evens the coat of paint being applied then.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
All these little tricks.
And this other tool I'm realizing behind your hand with the blue end on it, is that to help steady?
That's my magic wand.
You're Harry Potter.
No, I don't want to touch the substrate I'm working on. And this it's called mahl stick. M-A-H-L, mahl stick.
Oh.
And it lets my left hand operate the mahl stick in or out, up or down, and my right hand to just hold and make the brush stroke. So both hands, both arms are working together in unison. And people do it all different ways, but this particular situation, when you're working upright like this, I find the mahl stick to be very, very helpful. It gives me more range.
It's interesting.
So I'll chime in from behind the camera and thank Bob for coming out and getting Big Dewey ready. And we look forward to seeing her on the waters of Cedar Lake. Her christening will be Sunday, June 8th, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We invite you all to come out and see her for yourself and help us usher in a new era in the Lassen's Dewey line at Cedar Lake. Thank you, Bob.
You're welcome.